Hello, I'm glad to be with you again. You seem to need to get your energy back. So, let's do this together. First, settle down quietly. Sitting or lying down, doesn't matter. And close your eyes, so your inner vision can become clearer. Do you know which part of your body relaxes last? When you fall asleep, for example. Which part of you, of your body or your mind, falls asleep first? It's hard to know when you fall asleep, how it happens. Now, here. This isn't about sleep or falling asleep or something like that. But in a way, it's kind of the same. After all, this is all about becoming conscious of more things than usual. Kind of as if you could be aware, take in things that usually go unnoticed, as if not to control them, but perhaps give them a direction. For example, do you feel your breathing? Is it going up more or going down more when you breathe? Does it last longer to inhale or longer to exhale? Or is it the same? Does it take the same time? Now, your body is in a balanced position. Maybe it's not exactly upright. So, do you feel it? Leaning or pressing? More to the right or to the left, forwards or backwards. Sometimes we hope to gain some kind of alignment, trying to be centered. Things around you can help you with that. And at the same time, paradoxically, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying to you, so that inside you, something still hears what you need to hear. We sleep. We have dreams. We think of many things. And if someone comes in and asks you to wake up, or if the alarm clock rings, you move. Because there's something inside you that continues to listen to the outside, even when you are inside yourself. And that something there is also you. Sometimes we think that the subconscious mind is something else than ourselves. Actually, it's us, a deep part of our mind, our own mind. If you only take one part of the body, for example, the toes, the tip of your nose, a piece of hair, of course it's not all of you. You couldn't say, I am just that foot or that ear. However, it's also something that makes you up, that makes the us, that makes what we are entirely. Just like the beach. It's not just one single grain of sand, but if you took all the grains of sand away, there would be no beach. Somehow, what you are is at the same time the great you, and every little part of you. So let's imagine something, shall we? Imagine that the subconscious, this deep spirit inside you, could show itself, or could be heard, or felt. In short, that we could really know that it's there. Imagine that this is true. You know, like sometimes in the movies, we see things that make us dream or experience something special. So, how is it for you, your subconscious? If you see it, or feel it, or sense it? If you hear it, how is it for you? There are people who think it stays inside them, but actually, we know that our brain, our body, function in a holographic way. That means that it projects itself into space all around us, and at the same time is also inside of us. We have a sense of space, of distance. We're made like that. So I think there's probably a good chance that what you're feeling or discovering, well, it's inside and outside at the same time, projecting like sun rays all around you. And maybe it's just a tiny feeling, a sense, like a hunch, something you actually imagined or pictured, thus as an image or something else. Whatever comes to you, it's okay. And the second step would be imagine yet another thing. What if you could feel, see, or hear life? It's everywhere, and it makes the trees blossom in the spring as the seasons cycle continue. It makes little birds want to have babies, and all those things of life. Sometimes, as you're walking around, you think of someone and, who's just around the corner? Well, the friend you were thinking of. Or he calls you, or sends you a message at the same time. It's weird. It's as if our self is traveling in the streams or flows of life itself. And maybe that's how we grow. And we move forward on our path of life. So, imagine one thing. Life being what it is. It's made of shadows and lights. And we need everything. On the other hand, it's sure that we prefer light and having a happy and sunny life. Generally, it's nicer than having to go through things like a disease, an accident, disasters, and all sorts of stuff. Now, the person who has understood how life works would be probably a little wiser or something like that. I imagine that this person would also be wise precisely in dark times, as if she knew how to bring the light, her inner light, and the light of existence, of life, to bring the light into the darkness, so everything would be smoother. And a person suffering from an illness needs her body to regenerate. In the same way, an injured person, someone who's in pieces, needs her body to regenerate, but on another level, more mechanical. Even invisible things like pollution or radioactivity, our body's damaged. Our DNA is broken on the inside. In fact, our body is building and rebuilding itself all the time, every minute, every second. So it remodels faster than breaks. And in that way, things like radioactivity or pollution won't do anything to us. We adapt, we overcome, we live with it, and everything is fine. For someone who's sick, the body will do the same thing. Restructure, reorganize. If someone breaks a bone, of course that's really mechanical, and this too will repair itself. How come? How come inside yourself, even your DNA, like your cells, are constantly renewing all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time? Because they have vital energy, life force. It's life doing this inside you. Take life out of anything and it won't work as well. Add life to anything and it works much better. So, whatever you have, if you want things to be better, imagine yourself swimming in a big pool full of life. Imagine the sun's heart, for example. Imagine a bubble full of life. A bubble surrounding you and letting all the good come through, as we were talking about earlier. The good things that will happen to you will be filtered and allowed to pass. And they're going to help you feel more and more that big bubble surrounding you. And sometimes the bubble we imagine is far too small. We're modest with ourselves. You can imagine a 3 meters bubble, or even 5 meters, or even 10 meters all around you. A bubble that can accommodate your family, your home, or the entire residence you live in. Philanthropists will imagine a bubble protecting the entire neighborhood or the whole city, and why not the whole planet? For life itself has no limits. It passes through everything, and it's already everywhere at all times. So, feel inside yourself your own bubble, the sun's heart. the bubble all around you. Feel yourself and life circulating through you with its shadows and lights. And if you happen to be in darkness, well, let the light come through. Let the light bring balance back. Find the right equilibrium between shadow and light. It's as if your bubble is filling with a fluid as light as air or a bright light, allowing you to breathe. When the whole bubble is full of life, life will be everywhere, above, beneath, in front, behind, from side to side, everywhere. And when you'll breathe, it'll come in through your nose and fill you, as if you're breathing gold or light, something lovely and really good for you. Besides, when we breathe through our nose or our mouth, sometimes it tingles around our mouth or nostrils because there's more energy, there's more life, and it's coming inside you. And that's what you're feeling at the edge of your nostrils, like a golden powder, the mark of that light that's filling you up. This won't prevent darkness from coming, for the darkness will stay on the outside. But that's not what we want. Imagine that you're surrounded by light and that the world is only darkness. Now imagine that you let the shadow pass through your bubble. What happens to shadow when it comes into the light? Well, it becomes light. There's nothing you need to do for it to happen. It's natural. Even the tiniest of lights, like a spark or a candle, will turn shadow into light. That's the way it is. So you can just let things happen and welcome the events in your life. And you become like a living transformer. If you walk into a room and you're in a bad mood, everyone feels it. No need to slam the door when coming in. It's just the way you are. Your energy. People who know you already know you're not okay. Now, enter a room, radiant and bright as you are. Everyone feels it too. Even people who don't know you. In the street, strangers say hello to you, say a night. So, your own darkness, let it go into the light. The shadows of the world, disease, pollution, radioactivity, we can't prevent them. So let them be. Because by entering your bubble, they'll transform into light. The parts of your body that need to regenerate will regenerate at their own pace. In some parts of your body, for instance, the cells in your spinal cord, they regenerate so quickly that they don't have time to repair themselves well before making new cells. So, in that instance, they could slow down a little. Just what it takes to give the body time to repair the cells properly. instead of going on making damaged cells at full speed, as it can happen sometimes after things like radioactivity, chemicals, things we can have in our blood or in our body because of certain diseases. So let it find the right rhythm for you. It's as if something in you keeps an eye on you. Everything that's made, every new cell, every strand of DNA, so that everything reconnects in its right place. That everything is for the best, and maybe even better than before. As if life had a perfect design, the one used for life at the beginning to make babies, and your body can find its original model and fix you as best as possible. So, by letting the energy of life, the energy of existence, fill your bubble, breathing in that light, this source, you regain contact with this perfect model, and things are reconnected, reconstructed, as they should be inside you. How's that going to happen inside you? Well, imagine that every cell in your body is a small light bulb. In fact, that's a bit what a cell is like, a small light bulb. So imagine that every cell in your body is a small light bulb. By breathing in the light, the bulbs will light up. And if some of them are outdated or damaged, they'll just fall, like ripe apples or leaves in the fall. This way, the old light bulb gives way to a brand new young light bulb. And by continuing to breathe as you do in your bubble of life and light, gradually your whole body will light up, from the tip of your toes to the tip of your nose, up to the tip of your hair, on the surface of your skin, even in your back, even under your feet, even inside you, in the heart of every organ, in your bones, your spinal cord, in your muscles and tendons, and even in every cell of your mind. When you've gotten there, and that, as the saying goes, it's going swimmingly, you're wrapped in this protective bubble, like liquid light, light, bright water that you can breathe, the one that makes life and spring, the happy coincidences of life, and in your heart's heart, you'll start feeling more confidence in the fact that nothing happens by chance. May it be luck or not, what happens, happens. Perhaps we don't always understand right away why that is, but life has its reasons, and soon enough, we can get the meaning of life. when we begin to feel that we know that the things of life will be okay, on their own or not, and that we will do our best to find a positive solution, and we feel that we're not alone, and that what makes the sun come back, what makes small birds sing, and what makes trees grow even in the harshest conditions, that will also help us to go through the ordeals in our life. When you start feeling that feeling, that confidence, like a hope, that faith, sometimes it's not easy to have that in yourself. It doesn't matter. It can be very light, as long as it's there, inside you. No matter how tiny the spark, the flicker of light, it's going to grow, to snowball, to bounce around, and grow. When you feel it in you, then you'll make a movement, kind of magic finally, a sign that will make all this really true in your life. And you can do it over and over again, as much as you like. There's something you're going to do on your own, more or less consciously, and there's something you're going to do voluntarily, very consciously. I'll give you the conscious gesture. The conscious gesture is when you know that you really wish it to come true, when you'll want life to accompany you, to protect you, to help you go through the stages of your life, and that everything goes well. And that in a few years, perhaps, looking back on those moments of your life, you'll actually know that it was part of your way, and you'll understand it better. When that is strong in you, when you know it and you feel it, take 1 or 2 deep breaths as if to take it all in. And make this magical gesture, which consists of opening your eyes to feel what it's like to see life in the light. Thank you.